This Acer Swift 16 AI is my jam. It's got all the things I would want in a laptop. It's 16 inches, really nice and large, got a huge trackpad. It's got a very high-end processor from Intel in it, and it is thin and light. So let's talk about this laptop and the other laptops in the Acer Swift line that are new for CES 2026. So I'm actually going to come back to give you the full details of the Swift 16 AI. Let's start off on the lower end of the spectrum. This is the more entry-level addition to the Swift line. This is the Swift Go 14 AI. Now this does come in a 16-inch version as well. We have the 14-inch version. It's nice, it's thin and light. It has a magnesium aluminum frame, which is nice, and it has a really good feel to it. The texture on the top cover just feels really nice, especially when I'm resting my palms on it. So I appreciate that. Really good rigidity to the actual frame itself. But really, what we're going to talk about here are the specs, because inside here you can get the brand new, codenamed Panther Lake, Intel Core Ultra Series 300 processors. Not only that, you can get up to the highest end Core Ultra X9 version, which has 12 Xe cores. So the highest end graphical option that Intel is offering for Core Ultra Series 300, and it's in a thin and light package. Like, we got 14.8 millimeter thickness, a little over a kilogram in terms of weight. This thing is nice. It's sleek, but really one of the things I want to point out here is a serviceability angle. On the bottom, Acer has told me they have cut back the amount of screws that you need to do to unscrew to get into the bottom cover. There's only 4 this time. And while a lot of people don't get into their laptops, anything that gives more user serviceability is going to get a nod in my book, so I appreciate that. In terms of ports, on the left side we have 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, so USB 4 speeds, 1 USB Type-A port. It is not clearly labeled exactly which speed, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it should be USB 3.2 Gen 2x2. A full-size HDMI port that is clearly labeled here. On the other side we have another Type-A port. This one appears to be of a lower spec, maybe just USB 2.0. We have a courageous headphone jack. Acer continues to grant us with headphone jacks. I appreciate that. And then a couple of LED indicators. And lastly, I do want to point out the stylings. The top cover has a really nice aesthetic that kind of harkens back to lightning bolts. I don't know. It's very subtle. It doesn't scream anything at me, but it looks really nice. I appreciate it. That is not all that Acer has. This is just the entry level Swift Go. I'm gonna skip all the way to the highest end option they have. This is the Swift Edge 16 AI. Now, what makes this the top end of the stack is the emphasis on thin and light. This is the thin and lightest option that they have in the Swift series. You still get a lot of the same stylings, the somewhat Thunderbolt kind of logo, if you will, on the top, or etching. And I really like it in this blue colorway. That silver really stands out. Very subtle, but very classy. That's how I'm going to describe it. Across, on the bottom, we have 5 screws. They've added 1 in the middle. I'm going to assume for a little bit more support and rigidity. On the inside, we can see a big, beautiful 16-inch screen. This is, they call it 3K resolution, but really this is 2880 by 1800, up to 120 hertz refresh rate. They will offer IPS options as well, but this is configured for the highest end version. It is really thin, really light. They also tell me that the 14-inch version, which we don't actually have here, comes in just under 1 kilogram. So, and I can only imagine how light that is. This is already very light at what is it, 1.25 kilograms. Under 1 kilogram is really light, but it still feels really rigid. One of the ways to test it is to just hold the corner right here and kind of look at the flex. Like, there's a little bit of flex, but this is not bad at all, especially for how thin and light it is. In terms of processor, this goes up to the Intel Core Ultra 9 of the Series 300 line. I don't have the full details yet here. Panther Lake, codenamed Panther Lake, is still under wraps for the most part as of the time of this recording, but it appears to be that this will not be the full-fat 12xe core version, so it's going to be focusing more on the just general computing and should perform very well, especially for this thin and light kind of setup. These kind of laptops that are 16-inch, thin and light, no discrete GPU options with, I should also mention, 2 storage NVMe slots. This is my jam. This is the kind of laptop that I like to use, and I really appreciate what Acer is showing off here. Nothing super new in terms of what they've had in the Swift series before, but a refinement on the series and an upgrade with the processor. But what is new, I'm going to come back to what we talked about earlier, the Swift 16 AI. It does include a pen in the box, which is really nice, and you can use the pen on this huge trackpad. I love a very large trackpad, and I really appreciate the fact that it just seamlessly integrates into the system. It is centered. Even if you don't like centered, I know some people like to actually have it off-centered, it is still so big that it actually accommodates both types of users in my mind. Not only that, they did not skimp out on the full number pad. I'm somebody who likes to use a number pad, and having it there is very important to me, so I really appreciate that. But what really sets this apart for me is the fact that this is the most feature-rich and performant Swift laptop that they have, and this, if I were going to be looking at one personally, this is the one that I would look for. Not only for the trackpad and the numpad and things like that, but also the processing. Once again, I do not have the full details of Panther Lake, the Core Ultra Series 300, but I do know that this will go up to the X9 386H version, so that we'll have the 12xe core version, which should turn in really good gaming performance and productivity performance and content creation performance. So this is like the whole shebang for me. I really like this design, and I believe it is still thin and light enough for my use case. Even though I understand the Edge series is even thinner and lighter, this is still very thin and light for what I need. Once again, has the really nice stylings on the top here. On the bottom, it actually does have quite a few more screws to get to the inside. It does feature 2 NVMe slots for swapping out, and as somebody who has been doing a lot of dual booting of Linux, I actually really appreciate that. They have also added the indicators for the ports. On the left side of the laptop here, we have 2 indicators, 2 LED indicators, one for the charging, one for the battery, 2 Thunderbolt 4 USB-C ports. We have another Type A port. This one appears to be USB 3.0, or I'm sorry, 3.2 Gen 2x2, so 10 gig speeds. This is a full-size HDMI. Looking at the right side of the laptop, we have another full-size USB port. This one also appears to be 10 gigabit per second. We have the courageous headphone jack, which is great. This is probably the only downside that I have on this laptop is micro express card. Honestly, in my mind, if you're going to include a SD card slot on here, then why not go for the full fat one? I would say micro SD card, I can't imagine many people need that specifically. And you still you have room on here for a full-size SD card. When I do use micro SD card slots, I have a little adapter anyway, so if there was one thing that I would point out that I would like to see improved, it would be a full-size SD card slot, but maybe I'm alone. Do you like full-size SD cards? Do you prefer having the micro SD card slot? Let me know down in the comments. I'm curious. The last thing to note, which is unfortunate, is that in terms of pricing, I have no idea what these laptops are going to cost. Acer tells me that some of that will be figured out after the announcement from the vendors, but also we are in uncertain times in terms of the DRAM shortage, so I think things are still in the air. So I have no idea what the pricing are going to be on this, but I hope they come in line with previous generations. That is going to be the hope. Luckily, we do know the time frame. Acer says that these laptops will be shipping February, March-ish, Q1 2026 timeframe. So if you want to know more info about how these perform or what the pricing is going to be, then be sure to come back to the YouTube channel. We'll try to do some follow-up coverage, or head over to PCWorld.com. We will probably have a review of hopefully all of these laptops over on the website. But if you're interested in more CES 2026 content, then be sure to subscribe here on PCWorld's YouTube channel. We will catch you in the next video.